Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics. This is episode number 2046 and Doubleshot 1940. I have two trades from Valiant. Now, and here's the thing. The first one here is the second series for this character. This other one here is from the first series for this character. First we have Bloodshot Reborn Volume 4 Bloodshot Island. A 5-part storyline. This trade collects the last 5 issues of this series, which is issues 14 to 18. This book also collects the annual. This story pretty much is set up for a mini-series, Bloodshot USA. Now you might be curious though, who the heck is that on the freaking cover? That is Deathmite. Yes, this is a new Deathmite. And it's feels toward the end of the story on this is actually an old girlfriend of Ray's named Kate, who he had loved at one point. Yep, by the way, magic in the storyline, but he just... Excuse me. Yeah, so basically with this book, we pick up where we left off last time, where Ray ends up on an island, which in the story is basically Bloodshot Island. And he runs into a bunch of... Now, I should also point out that the book also contains the annual. Yeah, this book's only annual, and this is done by several different artists. There's about 4 stories in the annual. About everything is still done by Jeff Lemire. First story's artwork is done by Kano. Second story is Joe Bennett, Jay Furbus, and Bernard Baribo. The third story is written and drawn by Ray Fox. The final story is not done by Jeff Lemire. Nope, that is basically done by Michael Feffy, artwork by Benjamin Mara. Excuse me. Now, by the way, this is most of the same covers they had when the issues were released. So here's Ray with Blood Spite, and he runs into a bunch. He runs into Bloodshot Dog, yes, a dog, and then he runs into this guy. But he's not the only blood. That's basically Sevy's Bloodshot. Now look at this Bloodshot right here. Does this Bloodshot look very familiar? Yes, because this version of Bloodshot here, the way he's designed it, it's based upon the original classic Bloodshot from the original Valiant Entertainment line. Well, from the early 90s. That's what this look is inspired by. We also have not only a 70s, well, basically a Rambo one with basically 70s stuff. We also have a Russian Bloodshot and a... I think this guy's supposed to be like a German, I think it is. Yeah, so... Basically, they agreed to work together, but they're basically on a run from frickin' Deathmite, here she is. Now, Kate herself is not the original one. They've had, I think in this current continuity, they've had a few of them per se. Yeah, they've had a few of them. And look like she kills them. Nope. Turns out they're all basically, it's all a dream and they get out. And, of course, she turns silver, and, of course, she finds out basically, listen to her voice, it's Kay. Yeah, Kay, not Kate, excuse me. So... They get away, and of course, you have this agent who was actually last seen back in the opening story of the series. She comes in, of course, this whole thing is tied to Project Rising Spirit. If in case you forgot what this organization did, this is the organization that created Bloodshot in both the original continuity and this continuity. I don't know about the Acclaim continuity because I haven't read the Acclaim run yet. So, of course, it fights Deathmite, and eventually the book does end with them getting off the island, which, has the Rambo guy, of course, to get off. And they gotta go a little bit of backstory to these guys. And basically, the book does end with a lead into Bloodshot USA. Yep. The annual was simply just put out there because it's Bloodshot. Yep. So we have various different stories here, like about a slasher. It's just basically good stuff here when it comes to this book. This book is fantastic. I love it. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. In my opinion, along with the This book was still publishing, I believe, the same time as the original run for X-Men of War. Now, in my opinion, this book by far is my personal favorite runs for comics for Valiant. Now, I have read the original Valiant run. Basically, I read the first volume for Valiant, for Bloodshot, and the volume they came for this one. Excuse me, I had not got my hands on it just yet. I probably will in the future, who knows. Next up, we have Exo Manowar Volume 3 Planet Death. This collects issues 9 to 14 of X-Men War Volume 3. Now, you might be asking, Nick, why did you say Volume 3 for this X-Men War book? Because, like in the case of Bloodshot, this book also had a run for the original Valiant comics from the early 90s. Now, Bloodshot, I believe that one lasted for like 51 issues. This lasted for 64 issues, the original run. And both books had a run under claim. I think both lasted like a little over a year. Exo looked very weird. Had a weird design for his. But this is the critically acclaimed run that people like. This run managed to last for 50 issues. And with this book, we're almost halfway through this run. Yep. So, the whole thing with the Planet Death stuff is that he's basically finding the aliens kidnap him. That's simply what goes on the storyline. Excuse me. It's just really fun here. Love the nitty stuff here. Not much else to say. Just a damn good book. Yep. Robert Davis does the writing here with artwork by 7 artists. You have Trevor Horshey, Corey Nord, and that's it. Yeah. A book that contains roughly 6 issues. It's really good. I do have, now in case you're curious though, for Bloodshot, I do have the Bloodshot USA. I actually got that recently. And along with the first trade of Bloodshot Salvation. That'll be viewed in the future. And I do have the very next volume for X-Men of War. X-Men of War, probably for Valiant, probably my longest running trade series that I basically do reviews for, because there's a lot of trades in this one, because this is 50 issue run. Yep. But that's Bloodshot Reborn. My final thought, I'm going to give my final thoughts on this series per se. You could take a say for Bloodshot USA, because that's pretty much a mini-series that kind of serves as the in-between between that and Salvation. But that's for Bloodshot Reborn. It's an excellent ongoing series. Despite the fact it only lasted for 18 issues, I do not know the reason why they couldn't just call Bloodshot USA just a part of the main story arc. It's kind of weird. I'm not really sure why that Valiant did this for, but they did. And at least for Bloodshot Salvation, which was the series that came right after Bloodshot USA and this one, at least they kept the same writer, Jeff Lemire, because they knew that the book is not really wanted with him. But not the case with X-Men of War. As soon as Venditti left the run book, issue 50, they apparently went through a handful of different writers, and the problem with that runs are they didn't last very long. Like, they're lucky they last for like a little over a year before the book got canceled. Yep. But, in my opinion, I think that in the case of Exo, I didn't have a problem with book ending at issue 50. It's just that, I kind of wish the other runs lasted a bit longer than they did. Yep. That's pretty much it for this particular review. Next up is Bleach. Okay, next video.